in their job application boards. So specifically for this opportunity, we've provided next steps in terms of how to apply. So you would need to apply online, and I have included the direct link to apply to our website. So you would have to click on this link. Once you're on the link, you would need to select hospital support under the categories. And under hospital support, you would find a competition for IEN personal care attendant. Once you have successfully applied, you would need to create an account and submit your resume. If you are selected for an interview, we would have to look at your credentials, complete an interview, and check references. If you are successful and we offer you a position, then we would move towards the onboarding stage. So during the onboarding stage, there would be documents to collect, such as criminal record checks. We would ask you to do some e-learning, and we would get some employee health clearance. If you are successful at being selected for a position with us, once the onboarding process would be over and you have everything met in terms of your pre-employment documents, then you would begin your career with us. That's all I have to share today. We've also included the QR code, and if you want to scan the QR code, it links to our NL Health Services website. So thank you all for your time, and I hope you have a great day.
Applications currently in our office. So a bit of overview of what we'll be talking about today. We're so happy that you are able to join us and we can share some opportunities with you in our beautiful province. So let's start with some brief information. Where is Newfoundland and Labrador? Who lives here? What to expect when you decide to make our province your new home. We will showcase some of the best parts about living in Newfoundland and Labrador, including our rich history, ever-increasing diversity, what it's actually like to live here, and then follow up with information the most easterly settled province of Canada for 6 of 16 degrees west cultural cover. Newfoundland Labrador has an area of 400. Just so how do you get there? Canadian Social Survey, which collects data has been known as the Happy Province Canada. Very friendly. You will definitely hear a lot of people say that about us. As well as sports like snowboarding, skiing, and snowmobiling in the winter. Community and services. Newfoundland and Labrador has the most affordable post-secondary institution, which is the Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador. We
life insurance policy, accidental death insurance, and critical illness, long-term disability. We have different types of paid leave, such as annual leave, sick leave, and family leave in accordance to your collective agreement. We pay overtime, shift, and weekend premiums, again, in accordance to the collective agreement. And we are in the process of building a work environment which includes work-life balance, diversity, collaboration, and respect. So join our team for NLHS. Every day has the potential to be extraordinary in Newfoundland and Labrador. Put your skills to good use in a unique and remarkable part of the world. Whether you are in one of our urban centers, rural towns, coastal and inland communities, or working in a remote location, you can make a difference and grow your career here. Successful candidates join a highly capable province-wide team on the eastern edge of Canada. So as mentioned, we are new to being one health system. Therefore, we've included a link here for each of the zones and their job application boards. So specifically for this opportunity, we've provided next steps in terms of how to apply. So you would need to apply online, and I have included the direct link to apply to our website. So you would have to click on this link. Once you're on the link, you would need to select hospital support under the categories. And under hospital support, you would find a competition for IEN personal care attendant. Once you have successfully applied, you would need to create an account and submit your resume. If you are selected for an interview, we would have to look at your credentials, complete an interview, and check references. If you are successful and we offer you a position, then we would move towards the onboarding stage. So during the onboarding stage, there would be documents to collect, such as criminal record checks. We would ask you to do some e-learning, and we would get some employee health clearance. If you are successful at being selected for a position with us, once the onboarding process would be over and you have everything met in terms of your pre-employment documents, then you would begin your career with us. So that's all I have to share today. We've also included the QR code, and if you want to scan the QR code, it links to our NL Health Services website. So thank you all for your time, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, folks. So this was our presentation and for the health sector NL. If you would like, I can again show you the last picture of presentation that you can either screenshot the information or take a QR code information that you can further investigate by yourself. If not, I can also recommend you, if you would like to continue questions in the chat, there's an employer there who can answer your questions, or you can go directly to Newfoundland Labrador Health Service booth and talk to them directly through their specific questions or chats, if that is something that you like to guys do. So once again, if you guys want to see the last slide one more time, I can show you the last slide that you guys can take a picture of the slide with a QR code, and from there you can navigate yourself to the booth to directly talk to the employers. Is that something everyone's interested in? If it is, like, let's reply yes in the chat, and I will do it. All right, so I'm just going to load on again the presentation for the last slide that you guys can take a picture of it. It will be momentarily.
This selected for a position with
that's the last slide of a presentation. So you guys can take a picture of it or a screenshot, wherever you like. All right, folks. So now you can navigate yourself to once again to the Newfoundland Lab Health Service booth, where the two speakers will refer to your questions or any type of specific information that you guys want to hear. And I'll just shut down this presentation and close this one. That you can guys move towards the booth and again talk to them one-on-one. Thank you everyone for participating today. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you in the booth.
to this website and you'd look for a job. Everything that Newfoundland and Labrador, our immigration department, we you need to have a position in order for us to be able to help you with those things. So find a job. That right there is a great resource there for health related positions. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, someone there did ask, is it possibly nominated for AI ways? And the economic means that you have to have a job. That's the way the province can help you with those programs. There are different ways of entering Canada and getting work permits that don't involve Newfoundland and Labrador, but you'd have to get in touch with the federal government. So you can go to the IRCC website. So the federal government is IRCC. That's the Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada. If you want to find more information about that, you can reach out to them on their website. Okay. Someone is asking us something here about a civil engineer, another person here about a software engineer. You do need to have jobs here. This person's asking about more work experience. Not all the programs you need to apply need to have work experience. So for engineering jobs, I'd recommend going to the provincial government webpage. That's the one that's hiring at gov.nl.ca. The person that was mentioning the software, there is a TechNL website. I've already posted them there, but here, I'm going to put all of these websites here again for you guys. I just saved them all for myself, so I can easily put them there. So these are great places to find some jobs. So the TechNL, that's for computer-based jobs. The government of Newfoundland and Labrador, which is the hiring gov.nl.ca, they have a lot of engineering jobs right now posted. They are actually out in the exhibition hall as well. We have people from the provincial government with jobs advertised there. So you can actually meet with them as well if you're interested. Teaching jobs. So there is actually out in the exhibit hall under the work in NL. I got it like I'm showing you here on our little screen. We have the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District, and they have job advertisements there. So if you are a teacher, you can visit that booth. Team member jobs. I'm not certain exactly what that means. An offer for team member. I guess that means something maybe like in the service industry. We do have some out in the exhibition hall, but in the meantime, all those websites there, you can definitely type in. They don't close. What happens is at the end of the year, we may use up all our allocations that the federal government gives us, but by January 1st, they all start again, and we continue to process files anyway. So no, they don't stop or close. There are teacher jobs here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Got a lot of questions. Put yourself in. That's one of categories with faster. Okay, work contract. Work permit is expired. You will need to leave, but so you do need to follow what's on there. You can talk to the federal government about getting that extended. Let me see if I can get that for you. There is a thing here. I'll put it there for you. If you have a work permit, or if you're already in the system for the federal government, this is a way to reach out to them about your work permit. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. Let me see what other questions we had. Apologize, I'm trying to get back to everything here. Senior advertising, I'm not really entirely certain. It's best if you're going to look for jobs to find out on one of those websites that we had. There's my express entry question. An X-ray tech, okay. So the person here who mentioned that they're an X-ray tech, we do have jobs in NL. So what I would suggest is going to see if you can find a job there. Because if you are doing that type of work, it might be a good idea to try to get in through there. All right. Oh, okay, of course, yes, go ahead there.
Also have the College of North Atlantic, which is another college which has 17 campuses all across Newfoundland Labrador. Memorial University has 19,000 students from Newfoundland Labrador, as well as international students from 115 countries. The Association for New Canadians is a nonprofit, community-based organization delivering settlement and integration services to immigrants and refugees in Newfoundland and Labrador. For more than 40 years, the association has delivered programs and services that support all aspects of immigration integration, ranging from settlement information and orientation to language learning, skills development, and employment. The Association Communication Francophone de St. John's is a nonprofit organization that offers a wide variety of activities and services for all interests and budgets. Most of our activities take place at the Francophone Community Center. It is the Francophone settlement organization currently based in Newfoundland and Labrador. The Newfoundland Labrador Medical Care Plan, known as MCP, is publicly administered comprehensive plan of medical insurance, which was introduced in April 1st of 1969. MCP covers the cost of insured physician services for residents of the province who have met eligibility criteria to register as MCP beneficiaries. MCP beneficiaries are also entitled to coverage of insured medical services received in hospital under the hospital insurance plan. This is, of course, free of cost for all residents in Newfoundland and Labrador. Residents of Newfoundland and Labrador also benefit from up to 12 to 18 months of parental leave for your newborn or newly adopted children at a rate of 55% of your earnings, compared to the United States, which only receives up to 12 weeks of unpaid maternity leave. We also use English and French as language instruction in school and throughout the province. We have the most affordable childcare, which is about $10 a day or $7.48 USD. There are many community groups, cultural organizations, diverse food and religions institutions in the province that is continuously growing. Housing is a big priority for our government as it works to increase availability and affordability. Though we focus here on St. John's, which is our capital, rates across the province are generally much lower as you move to urban and even rural areas, while availability increases. As you can see, the average cost to purchase a home is significantly lower than other cities in Canada. This is something we would like to highlight for you today as Newfoundland and Labrador as a destination of choice for new migrants. As you can see, the average cost of a 2-bedroom apartment is $1,100, whereas a 3-bedroom costs approximately $2,100. Utilities are not often included in the rent, which we will explain a little bit later. And according to Newfoundland and Labrador, as you can see, the average home in St. John's is about $304,000. However, compared to Halifax, which is $529,000 and $1.16 million in Toronto. So we definitely have the most affordable housing. Transportation in St. John's. You can purchase a monthly bus pass for about $78 or a single fare of $2.50. Otherwise, an option for transit is through taxis in the capital city, as well as smaller cities throughout the province. It is usually recommended that you plan to purchase a car, as this will make your navigation through St. John's easier, but we wish to provide some approximate costs for owning a car so you are well prepared. Most newcomers will need to pass their driving test unless from a country that have a driver's license from United States, Germany, Australia, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Republic of Korea, Ukraine, France, Isle of Man, Northern Ireland, Japan, and Taiwan. So a driver's license fee costs approximately $125 Canadian. A road test is about $78. Annual car registration is about $90. And a car insurance depends on how much time you've been in Canada, so it does reduce every year once you are driving and start driving in the province and in the country. An approximate amount for used cars is about $10,000 Canadian, and new cars cost approximately $20,000, which of course you can take as a loan and with monthly EMIs. Car insurance from newcomers from countries without a reciprocal agreement is often priced as they are a new driver, but also depends on your insurance broker. So comparing the numbers, we want to give you a good idea of what it would look like if you were living and working here in Newfoundland and Labrador. It is good news that by next month, the minimum wage will be increasing to $15 Canadian. Full-time work is about 35 to 40 hours per week. If you work 40 hours a week for a minimum wage, you will receive $600 every week. Included in your taxes is employment insurance in case you lose your job, Canada Pension Plan, which is a retirement support, income tax, which is support for government services like we talked about, free healthcare, free education during your school. So these deductions will be taken from your paycheck every week or bi-weekly, depending on your employer. So make sure you do your research and compare the salary in your job to the cost of living in Newfoundland and Labrador. Later in our presentation, we will provide some average salaries for in-demand jobs in fields such as healthcare, early childhood education, and IT. We also encourage you to do research between approximate salaries compared to the cost of living in Newfoundland and Labrador. While other provinces may have higher minimum income, this is because they also have a higher cost of living. So we would just want to give you an example to compare the average cost of living in Newfoundland and Labrador with a real life example of what it would look like if you moved to Newfoundland and you got a job, how much you would make, how much you would save, and how much would go in different expenses. So here we have young guy who has a full-time job as an early childhood educator in St. John's. With 2 years of experience and her new ECE certificate, which is the Early Childhood Certificate for Newfoundland and Labrador, she will earn a wage of $25 per hour. Along with her spouse, she will expect to pay approximately $1,100 a month on her apartment rental fee, and an additional $400 per month on utilities, which is electricity, internet, cable, etc. Upon arrival to Newfoundland and Labrador, young guy's spouse will work as a restaurant manager. As a full-time employee, ECE, young guy will work 37.5 hours per week and earn approximately $937.50 before taxes. Her annual salary of $48,750 means at a tax rate of 14.5%, she will pay $135.95 per week in taxes. As a restaurant manager, young guy's spouse will work 40 hours per week at a minimum rate of $15 per hour and earn approximately $600 before taxes. So if we break that down with a monthly income, you're looking at $3,206 for young guy and $1,564 for young guy's spouse after taxes. So when we say after taxes, that means after all the deductions are taken out, like we mentioned on the previous slide, for employment insurance, for your pension plan, things like that. So this is how much you would get in your pocket. So when we deduct apartment rental of $1,100, utilities, which is electricity bills, internet bills, cable for heat and light, things like that would fall under utilities. Some apartments you will see are advertised as without utilities or pay your own utilities, which means it's not included in the rental fee itself, which is why we've separated it here, because sometimes you will see that. But if you're renting a room, for example, sometimes utilities are included in your rental fee. So it's a good idea to keep an eye out for that when you're looking for apartments to rent. So if you're looking to buy for groceries for 2 people, you're looking at $450 per month, and car insurance of approximately $97 per month for 1 driver. So if we add all of this up and minus it from your monthly income for 2 people, you are saving about $2,723 a month that you get to do anything that you like with, compared to other provinces that have higher rental fees and higher expenses. With Newfoundland and Labrador, you get to save a lot of that money. So we're going to go into the immigration programs that we offer here in Newfoundland and Labrador. This is a quick summary of the broad steps to immigrate to Newfoundland and Labrador. First, an employer must have a full-time year-round job vacancy and make an offer to a foreign worker, such as yourself. The employer must also register with the federal government's employer portal and be willing to pay a $230 fee to support a worker's work permit application if needed. Once a worker receives a job offer, they apply for either the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program or the Atlantic Immigration Program. Criteria for each program differ, which we will review shortly, but our average processing times under both programs is 25 business days for our office. Once approved under the NLPNP for nomination or AIP for endorsement, you can then apply to the federal government for a work permit and permanent residency. Processing times for work permit and permanent residency differ with the federal government and can be found on the federal government's website. With work permit approval and visa approval if necessary, you can travel to Newfoundland and Labrador and begin working while your PR application is still in process. The Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism offers 2 economic immigration programs that facilitate a path to permanent residency for individuals who have full-time, non-seasonal, or job offer from a Newfoundland and Labrador employer or own a business. Both programs offer various streams: the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program and the Atlantic Immigration Program. The NLPNP has a few categories to choose from, whereas the AIP depends on both a candidate's job offer and work experience. So as you can see under the NLPNP, we have the Express Entry Skilled Worker, International Graduate, International Entrepreneur, and International Graduate Entrepreneur. The Office of Immigration also offers a Newfoundland and Labrador Settlement and Integration Program that is designed to make settlement and integration for new immigrants smooth through support to service providers in the province. The AIP, as you can see, is based on a tier system. It starts from tier 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will talk a little bit more about this, but you can also find more information on what the tier levels mean on our website. So program eligibility is based on the tier level of your job offer. Firstly, we'll speak about the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program. The objective is for foreign nationals to obtain a work permit and permanent residency, as well as a pathway for foreign nationals to settle permanently in all regions in Newfoundland and Labrador. It's used to attract entrepreneurs and support entrepreneurs already established in Newfoundland and Labrador, also attract skilled professionals in identified in-demand occupations. Key eligibility looks like candidate must have a full-time, minimum 30 hours weekly, year-round, at least a 2-year job offer. Demonstrate to economically establish in the province, intend to reside in Newfoundland and Labrador permanently, provide valid language results depending on the program that you apply through. Work experience, however, is not required for the skilled worker category, but you do need to meet the NOC or the tier requirements. You also need to meet category-specific eligibility criteria, which you can find on our website under the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program. Next, we have the Atlantic Immigration Program. The Atlantic Immigration Program has been created to enhance joint coordination between the Atlantic provinces and the federal government. It is designed to help employers in the Atlantic provinces attract skilled workers and international graduates to permanently fill job vacancies. Employers must apply first and wait to have their employer to be approved as a designated employer. Employer engagement in settlement integration is higher than the provincial nominee program. The processing time is likely faster as well than the provincial nominee program. If you're already working in the province, you could qualify to become a permanent resident through this program. There is no labor market impact assessment, sometimes known as an LMIA.
Certification and provide professional learning for early early childhood educators. Some other things that we do to support ECEs is we have bursaries and grants to upgrade education. Like I said, we do professional learning, and we also provide early childhood educators with a voice in our province. So in July 2021, that is transforming early learning and childcare in our province and across our country. This plan has multiple components that include increasing access to childcare, making it more affordable for families, funding and training for ECEs, and there's also now a new provincial wage grid for ECEs, as well as increasing the number of fully certified in the childcare sector. So this create, we need early childhood educators, qualified people to work in our centers. So, come on, only per and so what that means if you are living here, you would be able to access those rights as well for your own children if you have children. They're trained professionals who create even environment builds become life learners, making it one of the most important and rewarding careers in education. ECs are building the foundation for developing and implementing programs designed to meet children's physical, intellectual needs based environments based on children's needs and interests. So what quality 7:30 to 3:30, or it could be that you come in at 10 o'clock and you work till 6 o'clock when the center closes. So they stagger their staff to make up those hours. Also, too, working in an early learning environment is a physically demanding career where you can be on your feet most of the day and routinely lift children weighing up to 20 kilograms. Again, that's especially in the toddler and young infant, toddler, and preschool, where they're if they're not toilet trained, you'd be lifting them up to put them on a change table, that type of thing, or lifting them up to help them on to play equipment. Also, too, we have an educator is required to maintain the environment. So that would include general safety, being consistent with rules, and ensure that the environment is compliant with regulations and public health requirements. So if you are an early childhood educator in Newfoundland Labrador, there's different opportunities that you can be employed at. So the main one is regulated childcare centers as center staff or ratio enhancement, lead staff, or administrator of a center. And an administrator of a center is basically the supervisor of the center, overlooking the educators and the daily operations of the center. There's also regulated family childcare, where you provide care for children in your own home. We have pre-K programs that operate out of our public schools. There's also forest schools and Montessori programs. We have family resource centers and family support programs that early childhood educators can work at. There's recreational programs, agencies that provide services for children, student assistance in the public school system, teacher learning assistance in the public school system. Also, too, there's childcare consultants within regional health authorities and program consultants within the Department of Education, EC instructors at post-secondary institutions, and also, too, there's positions that come up time again at early learning and childcare organizations such as our own and other ones around, like the ECHR Council and Family Childcare Connections. So as you can see, there's a variety of career opportunities. However, with these career opportunities, it would depend on what level of certification that you have, and also to your level of post-secondary in early learning and childcare that you've completed. And I'll talk a bit more about that as we go on. So what do you need to start working in early learning and childcare in Newfoundland and Labrador? You need to be at minimum 18 years of age. You will need to apply for certification through ACNO, which I'm going to talk more about. You'll also need to have standard first aid, and you'll need to obtain a criminal code of conduct. So these are part of our regulations within our province of what you need to work in a regulated childcare setting. So our career and educational path. So I kind of told you the different positions that we have, and I alluded to the fact that we have a childcare services certification system, and you need to be certified to work in a regulated childcare setting. So here's a bit about our certification. So we have our trainee level, which is you do an orientation course through us, and then you have to also apply to do the EC certificate program at one of our provincially recognized post-secondary institutions, colleges, and so then you have to do the orientation course and then show proof that you're enrolled. Then you'd become trainee level, and while you are at the trainee level, when you have to renew your certification on an annual basis, and with that, then you would have to show proof that you are doing courses towards a minimum of your EC certificate program. So trainee level is kind of like our entry point into the sector. Then we have level one. Level one certification is obtained by completing a 1-year EC certificate from a provincially recognized post-secondary institution. A level two is you can get once you complete a 2-year EC diploma from a provincially recognized post-secondary institution or college. Level three is you can obtain after you've completed your EC diploma from a provincially recognized college, plus an advanced diploma from a provincially recognized college. And then level four can be obtained by completing an early childhood education specific degree from a provincially recognized university, or an EC diploma plus any degree that is from a provincially recognized post-secondary institution. Also, too, I'd like to highlight with the levels, we also have classifications, and our classifications are in infant, preschool, school age, pre-K, and family childcare. So when you are working, you have to have certification also in the classification of the children you're working with. So for example, if you're working with preschool children, then you will need to obtain the preschool classification, and I'll talk a bit more about that on the next slides. What I do want to tie in together, though, is the career and educational path. So to work in a regulated childcare center, you can be trainee level. However, you need to be demonstrating that you're working to a level one. However, with regulations, to be an administrator, you need to have at least a level two certification, and a lead staff is to have level one certification. So the goal is that everyone will be level one and higher. So to get jobs that are in the Department of Education, or to teach at the EC at the college, teaching the EC courses, that would be something you would need a level four to do that. So that was just kind of an example of how it's a career and educational path, and how having more education and higher levels of certification opens more doors to other employment options within the early learning and childcare sector. So how do I become certified? So on our website, www.aecnl.ca, you will see that there's a section called certification. You would want to go to that and download and print the initial application form. You need to complete the initial application form and hand sign it. An electronic signature is not accepted. And you also need to obtain required documentation. So like we said, to obtain certification, it's based on post-secondary, college and university courses, programs that you've completed. So we would need to see proof of that. So if you have international post-secondary credentials, you would need credential assessment from World Education Services or other educational assessment services approved by ACNL. Again, that list is actually on our website, so you can see what the alternatives are to the World Education Services. You'd also need to supply us with an official transcript from the post-secondary institution that indicates the name of the student, the student number, and the completion of the program. Also, too, we would need an official report of course hours and a course description obtained for each course that has been successfully completed, and official translation of documentation if the documentation is in a language other than English. And also, too, the contact information from the post-secondary institution. So the completed and signed initial application form with supporting documents can either be mailed, dropped off, faxed, or emailed to our office, and all the contact information is shown on our form. I also like to point out that the assessment of your initial application may determine that you need to complete all or part of an orientation course or courses, and that information would be communicated to you by our office upon having received your initial application form. So this is what the initial application form looks like. So At the top is your contact information, and then section B, where it says certification classification, that is actually the classifications that I was talking about. So if your intent is to be working with preschool children and school-age children, you would check off those, and then that's what the registrar would focus on in terms of certifying you as. And also, too, I'd like to point out that the application can be filled out online. However, it must be printed and hand-signed. Read the information in the guide and the application form. So attached to this application form is like a checklist. So make sure that you read through that and that you do include everything, all the documentation required along with this initial application form. Also, to ensure that you complete all sections that pertain to you of the application by printing clearly and attach the applicable documentation to the application. And please make sure that your legal name is clear and visible on all the documents that you provide if they're scanned in. And if there isn't an official name change that occurs between your post-secondary credentials or documentation that you're supplying us, if it's different than what is going to be on the initial application form, then you need to show proof of your name change. So an example of that is a marriage certificate. So if you did your college or university and it's in your maiden name and you get married and the initial application form is in your new married name, then we need to show proof of to ensure that the post-secondary documentation that you're supplying us with is the same person that's doing the initial application form. So a question that we always come across with is, what do early childhood educators earn in Newfoundland and Labrador? And like I said at the beginning of the presentation, we have, as in effect, April 1st, 2023, our provincial government has instated a wage grid. So what the wage grid outlines is the minimum that ECEs will get paid while they're working in a regulated childcare setting. So again, I would like to highlight that this is the wages that people make working in a regulated childcare setting that is on the operating grant program. So the trainee level starts at $18.06 an hour, and level ones earn $21.25 an hour. Level 2 ECE earns $25 an hour. A level 3 ECE earns $28.75 an hour, and a level 4 ECE earns $33. Services certification up to a total amount of $7,500. So what this means is when I'll finish the slide. Individuals who are not a current resident of Newfoundland and Labrador will have up to 6 months from the date that ACNL provides them with their certification. And what will end up happening is, in order to access it, once you become certified, you have up to 6 months to show us that you are living in Newfoundland and you have started to work in a regulated childcare setting. And what it means by the 3-year renewal. So when you become certified, in order to maintain your certification, you need to renew it. And your renewal depends on the level that you are. So if you are trainee levels, if you have trainee level certification, you need to renew on an annual basis. And the way you renew is you will need to show proof that you've completed 2 courses in an EC certificate program from a provincially recognized college. If you are awarded level 1 to level 4 certification, then you will be renewing every 3 years. And in order to renew, you need to renew with 30 professional learning hours. So with this grant, when you do the initial application form, if you're awarded level 1 or higher, you will get $2,500 once you show proof that you are living here and working in a regulated childcare setting. And then every 3 years when you renew, you will get, if you show proof that you're working in a regulated childcare setting and you have been for at least a year, you'll get another $2,500. 2,500, and then that will go on until you get to a maximum of 7,500. So I think that works out to be an initial and 2 renewals. And any questions? I'm going to stop sharing so I can is there any questions that we can answer, like that are general, or?
I can't read. Hi everyone, sorry, I would just move on stage. So most of the questions have been answered, just kind of some of the stuff. You can start a process certification through us and you will send stuff to me, so we'll go to me and assess things on our website, and I will put also in the chat my email. So if you have any questions, after the session is concluded, and please feel free to email me, and we can figure out what the next steps are. In general, in order to get certification, you will need to have some post-secondary education in the early childhood education, and we will provide you and help you with that. Anything regards to how to obtain work visas, permanent residence, that will be something from Department of Immigration and Multiculturalism in Newfoundland and Labrador, and they will be the ones that have the links there, and go there and check their website in regards to that. If you have a bachelor degree in primary education, secondary education, check out Newfoundland and Labrador teacher certification, because you might be able to get a certification to work in schools. So that's another option and possibility, and check them out. I know they are in the event Wayfair, so
Yeah, I guess that to simplify and wrap up the presentation this afternoon, because there was a lot of information provided, is the first step is the initial application form. And then once we receive that and your documentation, then we as in Moitza, our registrar, can assist you with what the next steps are. But the first step is the initial application. And one thing I want to highlight is the certification process is actually free. We do recognize there is a cost to do like the World Education Assessment, but certification itself is free. So please keep that in mind when you're doing this process. So it doesn't cost anything to put in the initial application form.
and my email is registrar@asenal.ca. Just in chance you cannot able to see the chat, so to spell it out, it's registrar@aecenl.ca, just in case if you need it. I will also in the chat. I will also include. I see some questions there. Our website and where to get in to obtain the initial application, and you will be able to see there also like a booklet, a guide that will help you to get things started, including my email as well. I'm just looking through some of the comments.
There's a question there about the WES.
Yes, we do require WES. With WES evaluation, you have several options to choose from. You can choose whatever it's up to you which one you choose. We accept all of them. Sometimes they will ask you if you're looking for, for immigration purposes, or for, to enroll in school, or for regulatory bodies. Whatever you choose, it's fine, as long as you choose the side where it's going to compare your education to Canadian equivalency and not the American. As long as you choose that, it's perfectly fine. And you can do either course by course evaluation, or just basically straight up just, your 4-year degree or 2-year diploma compared to Canadian equivalency. So each one it is up to you what suits you and your needs the best. Let's see. I see there's in the chat there's somebody asked if WS sends the credentials, if you're still required to send the credentials, you send the credentials to us as well. And yes, we do require both. And the reason being is what WES will do is evaluate if your, let's say, a 4-year degree is equivalent to a 4-year degree to Canadian degree. why we require your post-secondary education is because then we will assess your education to our provincial standard for early childhood education and our levels and classification. That's what we do. And WES doesn't do that. That's why you would have to send both. And it's kind of a speed up the process of getting the certification. Somebody says WES already sent to our ircc. Do you have to send it to us too? Yes, because I'm unable to provide any to access any information to that you send to whoever they want. But if you use WES for the evaluation for ircc, you can definitely use the same one to send it to us for sure. Do you have a degree? If you need WES, yes. The thumb of rule is whatever you submit or write down on your initial application, any degrees, diplomas, masters, PhD, whatever you have, we do require the WES. So yes, you would definitely need that for sure. Let's see. Just want to double check if we have any. Okay, and I will send you again our link to the certification. Our main link, and I'll set in here too, is www. Of course, ACENL. .ca, so AECENL.ca. If you come to a main page, you'll see there's a lot of stuff there. Just click how to become certified and we'll come to the main page, and on the left panel you'll see different information, everything from initial certification. We have a specially designed page for individuals who have education from outside Canada to see what the steps are, including the initial application and everything else, including to educational credential assessments, which ones we accept besides WES, so that I want to make sure that you submit stuff that we will accept. And again, if you do have, when you start getting all the information together to send it in and you are not sure what exactly you need to submit and the stuff are correct, send me an email so we can help you, guide you through the process. And I just want to highlight as well that our certification is based solely on post-secondary education and how much you have it in early childhood education and not the experience. And for those who might have education not in early childhood education, you at the beginning it might not work in your favor just because you do have to have an easy early childhood education background in order to receive level 1 or higher, but down the road it will be able to have it. So let's put it this way: everybody can apply for the certification and you can work in licensed childcare. It's just that if you don't have a degree in early childhood education or diploma and you don't meet the requirements for level 1 or higher, you might gonna need an orientation course when you come here in Newfoundland, receive a trainee level certification, and then go from there. I know that Victoria said there is an option, to find a job if you don't meet the requirements to get certification is level 1 or higher from where you are right now in your country, to find a job in another sector, migrate here to Newfoundland and Labrador, and then work your way through to receive the certification here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Any other questions? There's one chat there. Let me just. Somebody says a degree in Bachelor of Education. If you bachelor, my rule of thumb is if you have a Bachelor of Education and it's not specific to early childhood education, you may not meet you may, and I say may because I don't see your credentials and I would have to do assessment to see if you met it. But in general, the rule of thumb is that you may not be able to receive a level 1 or higher. But if you have, like I said, the Bachelor of Education for teaching in primary school, elementary school, or high school, go to the route to receive the certification from as a teacher certification to work in school here in Newfoundland and Labrador. That's another option as well. And I saw that that Newfoundland and Labrador teacher certification has a booth in this would be fair, so definitely go and check them out as well. Okay, and like I said, the application forms can be found on our website, and I'm gonna resend them in the. I see there's a couple of chats going on, and I will send you the link there so you can definitely check it out. There we go. All right. Again, I'm just reading some. I don't know if I answered that question yet or not. The experience we don't take into account your experience, working experience. We just look at your post-secondary education that you have. Somebody says, can you send me the link to apply as a student? Anybody, we have just one application that anybody can apply to. You would have to start from our end to start the process. You do have to be a minimum of 18 years old because that's here in Canada, that's a legal age. And per regulations, you cannot be younger than that in order to work in licensed daycare.
Any other questions?
So there is a different ways to go to our website. One is you just do aecenl.ca. There are 2 E's in there, and you can get the certification. You can go into the certification there. The other one is there are certain links where that I send you where you go directly into how to apply as international students.
So any links for jobs in ECE, I believe the YMCA is hiring. And also too, you can look, there's a job search engine that a lot of regulated childcare centers use in our province called Indeed, INDEED, and they post a lot of postings there.
I will also put it here. I just pressed send in the chat as well that job bank. Somebody said that they have a certification from another province. Yes, you can apply with the certification from another province, let's say you have a certification from Saskatchewan or Ontario, you can apply to us. You still will have to apply to us because you have to hold a Newfoundland and Labrador certification in order to work in Newfoundland. But you can apply with the Saskatchewan certification, for example. And under the scope of practice, that will be transferable differently. For example, a level 1 from Alberta is equivalent to our training level. Level 1 from Saskatchewan is equivalent to our training level certification, but you can definitely apply with that, or any kind that you have from another province that holds certification. And there, we don't, if you're a school student or college student, we would not differentiate in application process than from somebody who finished finished the program and graduated. We assess your individual or your initial application, let's put it this way, based on what you submit. So what post-secondary education you submit, it either is a transcript for completion of 2 courses or completion of multiple degrees. So we assess based on what you submit. You would need to ask, somebody is asking that, they send their documents to WES, but we are also asking for transcripts. Do you have to send them to us? Yes, you would have to send it directly from school, or if you have a copies, you would have to, or from college, you would have to send it to us. How you obtain your degree or diploma, it's up to you. We have here in Canada, there are some colleges and universities that offer programs online. Some do face-to-face. What we look is, if that's where the WS assessment comes in place, is your university and your degree recognized in your country? So if it is recognized, then we initiate the next step to assess your program if it meets the requirements for levels. If your program it's not recognized in your program and college or university, it's not recognized in your country, then we do not do any evaluations from there. So if you have done a program that it's online from your country and the university is recognized and they just do the program online, then we definitely will look for your program. There's a question about, for the EC's jobs that are available in the province, do the employers have the license to hire from abroad? They definitely can hire from abroad. How about LMIA? Those are the questions that would be best as the immigration department, because they're the ones to deal with that. And we don't, and whatever I would say will definitely give you wrong information. And I do want anybody who is planning or wishing to move to Canada to go to the source of the information and find the right information, because it will definitely help you quicker and better way to get to Canada if that's your choice. So definitely check the fare there. You can definitely there is, if you go in the main lobby, you'll see immigration support. I would definitely go in there and check it out. And if you have any questions, try to find somebody who can now help you answer that. I'll put it in the chat right now also. There's a link to Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism in Newfoundland. And you click on that and check it out. And if you're looking for any jobs in Newfoundland and Labrador for early childhood educators, if you if you do a Google search for, let's say, early childhood centers in Newfoundland and Labrador, you can click on that. You'll find their mailing addresses, and you can definitely that's one way to find to start sending the resumes as well. Okay, somebody was asking about the first aid certificate. There are a couple of options, and I will say that as far as I know, I don't think there's anything online for you to do it before you come to Canada. But when you come to Canada, one of them is St. John Ambulance, and you can do through them because you have to do it, I think, face to face. But I would definitely, if you start working on if you find an employer, I will include. Here's my suggestion, and this is how I did it. So even though I immigrated to Canada in 2009, so it is quite a few years ago. But if you did the first aid in your country and you have a piece of ID, I would suggest to keep that translated if it needs to be, so that when you come here, you have something and it's current, and then when you come here, then you can do the first aid as soon as possible. It is just a suggestion. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I do not speak French, and I apologize for that. So I can only reply to English. So that is for the first aid. The second is I see somebody said, okay, so our certification is not the post-secondary education. So on our end, you either meet the requirements to be certified and we will send you a certificate, or if you need to do the orientation course, you would have to be physically present in Newfoundland in order to complete it. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. And again, for any visas applications, go to the immigration office to how to apply for that. So somebody asked about how long does it take to get certification after the documents have been received. So when we receive everything that we either ask of you, so usually it's about 5 to 10 business days to assess your program, and once it's assessed, then we will send you an email to provide you with what the outcome was of your of the assessment. If you receive a certification, you will receive a letter from us that will include the certification number, what level you're holding, what classification you're holding, and the date when it's been issued, and the length of the certification. And that will be the verification for you that you have the certification while you wait for a physical certificate to be sent in the mail to you. Yes, somebody else asked about there's a teacher, their wife is a teacher in Ghana and has a degree. Can she apply for original education? Definitely, of course, anybody can. If they have a degree, like I said before, in early childhood education, then usually the certification is awarded. Otherwise, they might need to do the orientation course once it's here. If there are teachers, I would highlight again, go check Newfoundland and Labrador teacher certification, because definitely that will be beneficial, especially if they have education in primary, elementary, or secondary. So somebody asked if they can still fill the application form if one is from a different field. Yes, you can definitely fill out the form. For sure. It's just that the level will depend on if you have an education, if you have an education in early childhood education or not, and that will determine how far we're going to go in the assessment of receiving the certification.
Then I have your EC certificate, but I do not have relevant work experience in the field. Do I stand a chance to get a job? Do employers provide training? If you become certified through us, you do have a good chance of being employed in a childcare center here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Like I said at the beginning of the presentation, we're looking to expand our sector to open up more centers, and we are currently have an EC workforce shortage. So there are jobs. If you're willing to become certified, able to be certified, and willing to upgrade, there's definitely jobs available here in our province. And do employers provide training? I would say most employers provide an orientation in terms of what the expectations are to work in their center. But the assumption is where you have the education of post-secondary in early learning and childcare, it should be not a hard transition to work in a regulated childcare center here. And like I said, also in my presentation, most of the times you would be working in the room alongside another educator. So you would have someone to mentor you as you get familiar with the center and what happens there. What is the minimum wage for EC assistants? So again, going back to our certification process, we start at trainee level. So that would be, I guess, what you would compare to an EC assistant, and the starting wage for them is $18.06. With regards to non-related certifications, so there was one there to become a farmer, and also to be radiology